So we've been working in the backyard a lot, as you can see from all the photos and the video. And it's been great. It's once we can host parties again, it's it's going to be wonderful. But it will be one of the most beautiful practice spaces I've ever had, and I'm very thankful for Lisa and her landscape architecture skills. Because that backyard looks amazing compared to what it looked like when we moved in. I've been working on a few different things, and it's what I do. I can't work on just one thing. I have to have several things going, like a game of whack-a-mole. But one of the things I'm working on is some standards. Specifically that Chris Potter recommended, not to me directly, but to everyone that attended the masterclass he gave with Bob Reynolds back in April as part of Snarky Puppy's Crowdcast masterclass series. And these 12 standards, there's nothing special about them. It's just 12 jazz standards. And the whole masterclass was about why should we practice standards and what's the importance of them. And it all comes down to that they're just great songs. If you work on great songs, you'll benefit all aspects of your playing, because you'll just learn how chords work together, how melodies work together. And yeah, it's been really great. So I've been working through these 12 standards, and yeah, just really digging into them, getting into the how they're constructed, just really dissecting them. Some songs, I think all 12 of them I've always known. Some I've worked on more than others. Many of them I've played, but it's just kind of neat, you know, just to have a list of songs to go, okay, I'm gonna work on those. I think the challenge sometimes with the fake book or the real book is that it's so overwhelming. I remember I knew a percussionist years ago, decades ago, who, you know, his thing was to wake up every morning and he would play through the fake book. And there's many musicians out there like that. You know, they hit the fake book from page 1 to the end, and you know that's how they start their day, and that's their practice. And I think there's some benefit to doing that. I think there's also benefit to just limiting the number of songs that you're working on and digging in. But it's a standard because it's well known, and it's safe to say if you go anywhere in the world and you walk into a space where jazz is being played and you call a standard, there's a good chance somebody knows it. So yeah, that's why we should practice those standards. So I'm headed to rehearsal right now, going over to Dana's house for Faculty Lounge rehearsal. If you don't know the band Faculty Lounge, it's made up of teachers in the Des Moines area. And yeah, I'm doing a show with them this coming Saturday. And yeah, it should be fun. It'll be the first time I've played in public since COVID-19 took over the world. But it's going to be an outdoor gig, and I'm hoping it's going to be safe. I won't be mingling or anything, just playing and headed home. So yeah, so I'm almost here. We're going to rehearse in the driveway. It looks like the band's getting set up, and looks like there's some neighbors sitting in the yard. So yeah, this should be fun.
Yeah, you don't have to play. Oh, man. Mercy flag. Mercy flag. Yep.
So last week, I took a trip to one of my favorite places in Iowa, Tenor Madness. Went up to see Randy and Simon and Shirley. And the reason for my trip is that I got a new neck for my tenor. And of course, the only way to get any kind of musical equipment is to try it out. So with COVID-19 taking things over, made an appointment, got up there, spent some time by myself, just trying out a bunch of necks, and ultimately found one that I really liked. And this is something that's been in the works for a while. I've been talking to Randy, and he's been encouraging me, like, oh, you might want to consider this, you might want to consider that. And then working with Simon, the same conversation, just, understanding what the piece of gear is going to do. And this is a conversation I have with my students a lot. Ultimately, I will say to students, and I said this when I worked in music stores, get the best that you can afford. Get a piece of gear that works. After you get something that works, then you have to do the work. After that step is done, and that can take months or that can take decades, depending on who you are and what you're trying to achieve. After that, then the process of finding equipment gets a little more specific. So the neck I had on my tenor was fantastic. It's worked for the past, 8 years, as long as I've had that tenor. And what I was trying to achieve is extend my range more, get up to the altissimo range. So this new neck, due to the shape of it, there's more of a bend in the neck, creates a little more resistance, allows me to get that third octave out with a little more ease. Plus it's got a lot of power to it. It's got some attitude. I don't know if that's because it's unlacquered. I don't know. There's my knowledge of equipment goes and it just drops off. But that's okay. I don't need to know everything because people like Simon and Randy do, and that's why I go to them. So that was a fun trip. Anyone will notice that I shaved during the making of this video. I don't know.